BJ, you're actually coming up as Kathy, although I get it, but no, you're on mute.
Yeah, I see that now. 51 years, what can I say? You know?
That's it. That's it.
All the best about technology.
Oh, amen for that.
So you survived the holidays, all right?
I did.
Good.
How about you?
Yep. So far, so good.
That's it.
Family in, family out.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And that's the, I guess that's the current challenge, is if you can have a family get together and not manage to infect one another as a result of your attempts to be civil and
Yep.
interact.
That's correct. None of us ever thought we'd have to face that again this year, right?
No. And I guess the question that everybody has in their mind is it, are we just reinventing a variant every year and we'll adapt to its unique situation, or will it finally subside?
Yep. And nobody has that answer.
No, indeed.
Either that or it's well above our pay grade.
Traditionally, they get more contagious and less virulent, and then they become the common cold, which
All right.
unfortunately many of them are coronaviruses that we do not do a good job of maintaining. So they'll probably be with us for a long time,
Yeah.
but not as bad as it is now.
One way, shape, or form, huh?
I was going to say, Carol, if you, I'm not sure we have a quorum yet. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I think we're at like 13. Then there's the debate as to what is a quorum, which I have my opinions. So we could probably wait a minute and then do a roll call.
Okay.
I can take the roll call. I think we might be there.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so Les Fremantle. Dennis Wood. PJ or
Present.
Kathy. Oh, Kathy, if
Yes.
that's what you want to be called.
Yeah, PJ and Kathy are here.
Steve Meehan. Okay, Steve Rucado's not going to be here. Patty McEnany, I think, is going to take his spot for now, and she's excused. Kathy Allen, I have as excused. Is that correct? So Tracy Weir.
I'm here.
Okay. Doug Bauer. Okay. Jim Benna.
I'm here.
Okay. Stan Wogaki.
I'm here, Carol.
Okay. Let's see, Dr. McHugh,
Here.
Dr. Daly,
He's going to be a few minutes late, Carol. He just texted me.
okay. Steve Kroll,
I'm here. Good afternoon.
okay, hi, Steve. Anne Marie Cross,
I'm here.
okay, I'm here. Lynn Kane,
I'm here.
Jim Steers, I've heard you. Dale Lingenfelder,
I'm here.
okay, Scott Bowman, Steve Retzloff,
I'm here.
Jeff Williams. Okay, Maria Walker,
I am here. I just want to give you a heads up. I'm out of town with family and the Wi-Fi is spotty. I'm going to stay on as long as I can, but Lynn has my report for the nominating committee if I get disconnected.
okay. Charles Welch, Alan Bell, I thought I saw Alan on here. Okay. Adam Fink,
Here.
okay. Paul Segru,
I am here.
okay. William Rockenstein,
Present.
okay. Richard Salucci. Okay. And is there anybody else that I didn't call? Any non-members that I didn't call? Or that I'm not aware of? Okay, I do believe we have a quorum.
All right, excellent. Then we can call a meeting to order at 6:05. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Previous meetings minutes are recorded, so we don't necessarily need to approve them. And Carol made mention of the two folks that were excused from her list. Tim, do we have anybody else that's last minute addition to that list?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, then you're on Executive Director's Report.
Okay. A lot of stuff on there. Maybe I'll summarize some of it in the interest of brevity. But Teal Becker and Shimani's in-house group completed the audit. They were in there the first couple of weeks of December. They're out now back in the office doing their audit thing over there. And then we'll get notified when they're done, but I don't expect to hear from them for a few months. For all those folks on here that haven't, and I know a number of you have, send me your annual sexual harassment sign-off forms when you can, so I can complete that file. Thanks. Just an update on training. We have 3 classes scheduled to start. One's a Skidmore College. That's traditionally a closed course for the Skidmore folks, but that's up about 20, 25 people in that class. So that's pretty robust. We also have our SUNY Homeland Security class, which we started last class back, I forget, several months ago or so. But we have a pretty good enrollment in that as well. And what's most interesting, I believe, is we're actually going to hold another class. And this is a free class. We got contacted by the Department of Health BEMSATs a couple weeks ago, asking if we would hold a class, they would cover the costs. Pass or fail, they would pay us a certain amount of money, and it's basically what we charge right now. I think it's about $1,300, $1,350. I believe the state has a push statewide to bolster the ranks of EMS providers, especially EMTs. There's several of these quote EMT boot camps that I'm aware of scheduled around the state. So Remo was more than happy to oblige them when they called and asked. That class is going to start up, I want to say, I think February 3rd. And we actually had to cap that. Imagine that free class. It filled up in record time in about a day and a half. And we had to cap it. It reached maximum enrollment. We actually had to turn a few people away. Let's see if they have another one coming down the pike. I'd be interested to see. Merger update. I think you guys should have received today our operational agreement that I've been working with Terry Hannigan. That's draft form. There's a couple typos on there and stuff. But what we want to do is basically twofold. Enter into an operational agreement with Ahrams first, rather time sensitive there, and then Mountain Lakes, and then roll into a formal merger after that. But this ops agreement gives us a little chance to test the water, so to speak, feel everything out, and basically provide an out if we find out that, hey, this isn't a good fit for us or this isn't a good fit for Ahrams. I don't see that happening, but I think it's better to be safe than sorry. So once we formalize that, we'll give everybody a heads up and we'll move forward. I say time sensitive for Ahrams because their director, Phil Malidi, is going to be retiring in a few months and they're getting a little nervous out there. So if we can fast track it for them, we're going to. But I'll keep everybody in the loop as things proceed. The other thing I have is we had a Remsco delegate resign, Steve Mercado from Greene County, but it was a good way because he took a job with DOH. His interim director for Greene County EMS, Patty McEnany, is going to assume that role, but she had a scheduled CME tonight, so she was unable to make the first meeting here. Once they select or endorse a permanent replacement, I'll let Carol and the rest of the Remsco know about that. But right now it's going to be Patty McEnany. And I believe that concludes my report. I'll take any questions if anybody has any.
Hey, Tim, it's Scott.
Yep.
Just relative to Patty's temporary appointment, is she his what's the word I'm looking for, alternate already?
Alternate.
Or is she just taking the spot temporarily because she's backfilling him in his former role there at Greene EMS?
Yeah, I don't believe she's his alternate, Scott. I got word from Greene County that she'd be filling those shoes until they make a formal announcement or replacement for Steve.
Okay, that was my follow-up question, was whether the notification came from the county's advisory board or whether it came from Steve Mercado. That's all. I was just looking for clarification.
I think it came from Sean Hotelling. I'll double check though. That's a good point to bring up, but I thought it came from Greene County, but I'll follow up on that.
Okay, just checking. Tim, you're muted if you're talking.
Oh, nope, that was it. I was done with the report unless anybody else has any more questions. So that concludes my report, I guess.
Excellent. Just a comment, and the only thing relative to a chairperson's report is, again, there's a tremendous amount of effort on Tim's part in interaction with Terry Hannigan to get us to the point where that document that you guys have before you, and especially Terry's cover letter, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at that, by all means do. But it seems like we're pointing in the correct direction. I'll just make a couple comments about, Terry's observations and what he put in there. And that is the sentence, or the first sentence of the last paragraph is Terry put, paramount in this agreement is the ability for Remo to take a test drive of the other program agencies before it assumes complete control and responsibility for them. So I think that's very important. And that's probably something that has been said many times, is that while it seems like a great opportunity, it's also an opportunity that doesn't come without some risk and some due diligence on the part of Remo to be able to fully understand what we're getting ourselves into. As Tim has probably said a couple different times, including as it specifically relates to ARMS, that would probably be the easiest of us to assume control over, simply because a lot of what we do normally, they don't typically even do. So as an example, as we bring them into the fold in regards to training, that would be, we could put forth a minimal effort and they would think we were doing a wonderful job. So again, because they don't do that much of that. And then the other thing that I'll just make mention of is, again, from Hannigan's letter, is he flat out said, this will require financial firewalls and separate accounting of revenues and expenses as it relates to, the other two entities as we're moving forward. And, that's kind of a thing for PJ, how we have to do it. And obviously that's part of our whole due diligence, but I think we're moving in the right direction. Obviously, if anybody has any questions or concerns as you read over this, by all means, reply back to Tim, and he can bring those concerns or recommendations back to Terry. And then, this isn't a done deal. We're simply going to, tweak this document a little bit, get it out to the other two agencies, and let them take a look at it to see, how they feel about the process. So, that is about it that I would bring up other from a chairman's report. Again, kudos to Tim. Can't say enough. Had conversation with him when DOH reached out with a very unique training proposal. And that was, can you do this? How fast can you do this? And gave him some parameters. And as he said, in very few days, the course was filled. And again, contrary to what they would typically do, they're going to pay us for all the students regardless pass fail. So that's an opportunity to do something. And again, kudos to Tim and the training staff that not only had to create it, but ensure that it would work moving forward. So that was great. Other than that, I don't have anything. If we want to go, I don't believe I saw, oh, Mike Daly is here. We want to go right to operational reports. Dr. Daly.
Hey, thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. My report's pretty quick tonight. Basically, I think flow in and out of the hospitals remains troubling, but has improved. There's been a lot of effort on that part, literally by all of the hospitals. I think the last couple of weeks, particularly about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, was probably the worst time that we've had in terms of staffing in the hospitals because of the number of COVID staff absences right the way across the region. This seems to be improving significantly, which is fantastic. And hopefully it will continue on that trajectory. From a field operational perspective, the only important thing that has come our way really is the potential shortage of what we used to call 1 to 10,000 epinephrine or cardiac epinephrine. Some of the agencies may have already found a shortage of that. It's certainly been reported in other regions. If your agency is indeed short of the standard epinephrine, if you'll remember, we have a replacement that already has been approved by the REMAC in the past, which is a vial or ampule of what we used to refer to as 1 to 1,000 epinephrine and a flush to mix prior to administration But please do let Remo know if you're needing to make this substitution to your formulary. We do not approve the 30 ml vials of 1 milligram per ml epinephrine for this. We've had long discussions at the REMAC about that in the past. So if indeed you need to take the step of moving past the 1 milligram, 1 ml single milliliter vials, that's got to be something you bring to the REMAC for discussion, just because of our concerns for patient safety with a 30 milligram vial. But that's all I've got for you right now.
All right. I was going to say, you guys haven't had a REMAC meeting, or we have Dr. McHugh. I apologize. Dr. McHugh, REMAC.
Yes, mine is even shorter. Our meeting is next week.
There you go. Very good. Love it. Up to PJ, treasurers.
Hey, I'll make this short as well. We're in a good cash position as compared to last year. I know Steve Kroll always hounds me, is like, how much money can we put in investments? Steve, I just want to just hold off about another month or so. If you see on a report on our balance sheet, we got a pretty large outstanding receivable from New York State of 38 grand. So once we can kind of clear that, I think we can make some headway and put some money into our investment account. Again, we're in good shape compared to last year. But remember, in the last year at this point in time, we had taken $30,000 out of our fund balance account, shove in here to keep us afloat. So hopefully we won't have to do that this year. And Steve, give us another month and I'll feel pretty comfortable, I hope.
All right,
That's it.
sounds good. Any questions for PJ? All right, seeing none, we actually have, I guess, Dr. Daly assigned to QI. Are you doing the report on that?
Same traffic as before. We'll have a meeting next week.
Okay, very good. CON committee, actually, we have not had any issues come before it, so that's actually a good thing, especially if it's over the holiday period when getting people together to make quorum and do stuff is a challenge. But again, nothing before CON committee, so no report. There's only one DOH disciplinary action for this evening. That's for an Andrew Trzurskiewicz. Well, I apologize for that. I'll spell it TYSZKIEWICZ of Cicero, New York State EMT number 467560. Had his certification suspended for 1 year effective 12/17/21. The suspension is stayed pending satisfactory completion of the probation period, which is 3 years, also with that same effective date of 12/17/21. He was also assessed a civil penalty of $2,000, which was stayed pending successful completion of the probation for violations of Part 800.3, 800.3 AM, 800.3 AS, and 800.15 sub 2. Course applications, informational. Saratoga County has an EMT refresher that starts on 1/31/22. That's a night class. And Saratoga County also has an EMT original that starts on 2/7/22, also a night class. As far as correspondence, there's 3 of the folks who are currently in whatever administrative positions, and now, whatever. Executive positions, I guess the better way to describe it, with the Remsco, myself, Carol Brandt, and PJ Keeler have responded to Tim with a letter of intent, essentially expressing their interest in seeking another term.
Hey, Jim, this is Tim. Can I butt in for 1 second?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can add Scott Bowman to that list. Received an email late this afternoon. He expressed interest in re-upping.
Okay, so that's good. So the current officers have essentially all sent their intent to seek another term. That will come up under nominating, but obviously anybody who is interested in seeking to fill a position or to run for a position, get a hold of the nominating committee over the course of this next month. Committee reports, executive, we did not meet. Finance, Steve?
Based on PJ's comment, we'll be waiting another month to talk about investment policy, so I have no report.
Very good. And also, I would imagine New York City Council, that's a future date, right? Or has there been one since we last had our meeting?
Jim, was that a question for me?
Yeah, I apologize if it cut off. No, the next one would have been the State EMS Council, but I don't believe.
Oh, yes, okay. I do have a report on State EMS Council for you. The State EMS Council met in early January. The scope of the meeting, both the CMAC and the Remsco, the scope of the meeting was relatively narrow because it came just as the Omicron was peaking, and there is another meeting scheduled for April. A couple quick things I want to share. Tim already talked about the Academy style EMS class that he's been asked to host at Remo. The state, as part of an initiative to bolster the EMS workforce, is trying to train 300 students in these free rapid training classes. They're going to be free Monday through Friday classes during the day, try and do the whole course in a month. I believe half of the classes are reserved for National Guard members and half of the classes are reserved for the general public. This is an experiment. And the reason why is there were some statistics released at the meeting. In 2019, New York State had 80,000 certified providers. And even though we had 80,000 certified providers, only 36,000 providers actually appeared on a PCR. So more than half of the EMTs, paramedics, and intermediate and advanced EMTs in the state actually aren't working. In 2021, that 80,000 had dropped down to 67,000 certified providers. If you take out the CFRs, there are 60,000 providers. Only 30,000 appeared on the PCR. So no matter how you slice it, over the last 2 years, the number of providers that are practicing has dramatically decreased. And so, and a lot of them aren't even working. So there are a lot of discussions about initiatives to figure out how to get more people into EMS. When we you'll see people starting to talk about the New York State budget. The governor has put a number of initiatives around EMS into the budget, including retention bonuses for career healthcare workers, with the presumption that EMS workers will be included in that, and increases in the training programs for EMS, even though it's not really specified in great detail what they're going to mean. There is strong consideration was being given in January to the potential for a future extension of EMT cards, like was done during the height of the COVID pandemic. That was in January. We have heard nothing about that since, but that topic is out there. The Vital Signs Conference will now be held in Albany for 2022. It's going to be October 26th through 30th at the Empire State Plaza. That's coming up. The call for presentations is open for anyone who wants to be a presenter. The New York State EMS Memorial is May 17th, when 9 EMS providers' names will be inscribed on the memorial. If any of you have been to the memorial, you'll know that the wall of the Tree of Life on the memorial is filled, and the Department of Health is working with the Department of General Services to figure out how to add to the memorial, whether it's build another piece to the wall or some other mechanism, because sadly, the world we've lived in has brought about filling of that wall way too fast. The last thing I'll mention, and I'll just ask Dr. Daly if he wants to comment on this, and comes from the CMAC meeting, and that there was a discussion of the pandemic protocol, and then a discussion of the role of regional policies in the state with regards to the pandemic protocol. Mike, I don't know if you'd want to give a 1 or 2 minute summary of that discussion, since it occupied a really big part of the meeting.
I think the only thing I would comment on with from that discussion at the meeting was that I think it took several years off all of our lives It was possibly one of the most disgusting exchanges that I've been involved with at the at one of those state meetings. We should have stepped away, brought a small group together, finalized a document that would be reasonable, and brought that forward for discussion. And instead, what we did is basically made sausage on that video cast, and that was a shame. And frankly, I want to apologize to anybody that sat through it, because it was not the way these advisory committees should work. Bottom line is that the policy as it previously existed is still in place. There was a whole bunch of micromanaging that tried to occur, and it ultimately was not successful. And I'm not really sure that that much was accomplished with it. That really was a shame. You know, as of right now, the same thing that existed in the past exists now. If you have a patient, you believe that there's an alternative destination opportunity for them, contact medical control. If you happen to have a relationship with an organization that can assist with the disposition of that patient, then I would make contact with that organization through telemedicine, and minimizing patients being transported to the emergency department is a good thing. But the way it all worked at the CMAC meeting was relatively ineffective. We will certainly be talking about the process for that regionally at the REMAC meeting next week, to make sure that indeed we have something that will work effectively for our agencies, safely for our patients, and maintain as much operational efficiency as we can within the system.
All right, sounds good. Anne Marie, nurses, unless somebody has a question for Steve.
I have no report. We're going to meet in February.
Sounds good. PJ, back to you for MCI.
No report. We updated it a few months ago, and we're good to go from there.
Sounds good. Scott, membership?
No report, Jim.
Very good. I guess Lynn is going to do Maria's nominating.
Good evening. We have 4 sitting officers who have expressed interest in staying in their office. I leave it up to you, Mr. Chair, to poll the audience to see if anyone else wants to run for office.
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly be happy to accept anybody's interest this evening. However, I don't know that I would want to close it simply because there's folks who may not be in attendance who might want to step up. So I would simply hold with what I said before, and that is, you know, certainly if you want to come forward this evening, by all means, let your intentions be known. And if not, we'll more than likely go with whatever comes back and begin with an election, even if it's a secretary cast 1 vote election in February. All right, I'm good. Awards, Lynn, or Carol, sorry.
I'm going to reach out to the state and see when the awards are due. Like if they've decided, I'm not sure if they even know. And we'll probably have to get the process started again. I think the way we voted last time seemed to work out pretty well. So I think we should probably proceed the same way this year, unless anybody has any other suggestions or objections.
No, I mean, it's just my take. I mean, given the inability to effectively meet together and potentially have to do things at a distance, I think we did last time. I guess if anybody has a suggestion, reach out to Carol, and if not, we'll probably just proceed with the same method that we used this past time. County reports, Albany County.
I'll chime in for Albany County. I don't think Les or Dennis are here. And I don't have anything to share, and Dennis didn't mention anything to me today.
Sounds good. Columbia County.
I'll chime in like Scott. We are within a few days of implementing our 911 telemedicine for low acuity calls. We've been working with UCM Digital as well as our medical director to fine tune that. So we should be up and running here hopefully very soon.
Very good. Greene County. Anybody reporting for Greene? All right, I'm not seeing anything for Greene, Rensselaer County. Nothing for Rensselaer County, Saratoga County.
Nothing to report for Saratoga County.
Very good. Schenectady County.
Jim, I wasn't able to attend the last meeting, so I'm deferring to Bill Rockensteyer to give a report.
Sounds good.
Jim, there's nothing to report. We are getting ready to have some changes in the executive board. That's about it.
Very good. Done with county reports, new business, and I apologize. I mistook because I was trying to follow this and speak correctly. But as it relates to officers and nominations in the election, what I should have said was by the close of the meeting and not by the next meeting. But so anyway, we're at least at the point in this meeting where we would any nominations from the floor regarding the positions. So I was going to say, is there anybody who would like to make their interest known in serving in any of the positions?
If I'm not mistaken, Jim, I think we got to do them one at a time. So I'm happy to make a motion that we close nominations for the office of chair and have the secretary cast one ballot for Jim Stairs to return this year.
Yep, and that's, if you want to do each of those, Scott, that's great. Obviously, we're gonna have to do it for each position.
Do we need a second to that?
Yes, we do.
I'll make a second to that. This is
All right,
Jeff.
Yep, we got a motion by Scott, second by Jeff Williams. That the secretary casts one balance for myself as chair. Now we could do a roll call. Is there anyone, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Don't we have to do it 3 times?
Yes,
I
it
think,
needs to be, it needs to be asked 3 times. Is there any other nominations from the floor? Is there any other nominations from the floor?
I think that would be prior to my motion having been made. Correct.
Okay.
Well, we're just winging it.
Well,
Yep.
I'll withdraw the second if you want to withdraw the motion, and we'll finish that up and then back.
Yeah, I'll withdraw my motion, Jim, and let you finish that.
Okay. All right. So we'll do them individually. So for the position of chair, are there any, well, seeing only one nomination from the floor, are there any other nominations for the position of chair? That would be going once. All right, second time, are there any other nominations from the floor for the position of chair? And for a third time, are there any other nominations from the floor for the position of chair? Sounds good. Seeing none, we'll defer to Scott.
I'll make the motion that we close nominations and have the secretary cast one ballot for Jim Sears.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Scott Bowman, second by Jeff Williams. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Sounds good. Is there anyone who would like to abstain or vote no? All right, excellent. Moving on to the position of vice chair. We have one person seeking that position, that is Scott Bowman. So other than Scott Bowman, is there any nominations from the floor for the position of vice chair? All right, second time. Are there any nominations from the floor for the position of vice chair? And a third time, are there any other nominations from the floor for the position of vice chair?
I'd like to make a nomination or make a motion that we have the secretary cast one ballot for Scott as vice chair.
I second the motion.
All right, we have a motion by Jeff Williams, seconded by Stan Wogaki, that the secretary cast one ballot for Scott Bowman. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Anyone choose to vote no or abstain? All right, seeing none. For the position of secretary, we have one person interested in filling that position. That's Carol Brandt. For the first time, are there any nominations from the floor for the position of secretary? Second time, are there any nominations from the floor for the position of secretary? Third time, are there any other nominations from the floor for the position of secretary? All right, with that, would someone be interested in making a motion that the secretary cast a ballot for?
Jim,
I'll
I'll
make
make a
that motion.
motion that nominations be closed and the secretary cast one ballot.
And I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion by Jim Vina, seconded by Jeff Williams, that the secretary cast one ballot for the position of secretary. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Anyone choosing to vote no or wishing to abstain? Sounds good. For the position of treasurer, we have PJ Keeler seeking re-election. Are there any other nominations from the floor for the position of treasurer? For a second time, are there any other nominations from the floor for the position of treasurer? And for the third time, are there any other nominations from the floor for the position of treasurer? All right, seeing or hearing none, I'll be happy to accept the motion.
Jim, I'll make that motion again, that nominations be closed and the secretary cast one ballot.
And I'll second that motion.
All right, very good. A motion by Jim Vina that the motion or the position for treasurer be closed. PJ Keeler, that motion was seconded by Jeff Williams. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? All right, seeing none. Well, congratulations or condolences, however you look at it. Again, just my personal take, I thank the persons who served with me this past year and have chosen to continue on. I think we did a nice job and tackled some interesting issues in the midst of a pandemic and meeting remotely. So that's always a challenge. The next item, as far as new business, is not uncommon to the end of the year and course renewals or course sponsorship renewals. Kind of as the year ended, and actually even one that went into January, those sponsorships come to Remo, and Remo has to essentially endorse the renewal of those. So I can't remember exactly what we did in the past, but I'll read who they were, and then probably the most logical thing is to just have somebody make a motion to accept this action. So Remo, the Town of Colony EMS, the Town of Guilderland EMS system, Hudson Valley Community College, Momentum Performance Materials, and Mohawk Ambulance all sought endorsement from Remo for them to continue as a course sponsor. As those documents came in, I supplied that. So the motion would be to essentially acknowledge my actions and approve of them. So I'll leave that open for discussion, or if somebody wants to make a motion, be happy to accept it.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Sounds good. So we have a motion by Jim Vina.
Jim, I'll second.
And a second by Stan Wogaki. So the motion is to accept the renewal of the course sponsorships for those entities just mentioned: Remo, Colony EMS, Gilliland EMS, Hudson Valley Community College, Momentum Performance Materials, and Mohawk Ambulance. So those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Sounds good. Anyone choose to vote no or wishing to abstain? Sounds good. Motion is carried. I don't know if I was not able to attend the one meeting, but there was a group there that were going to look at the EMT course payment options or something like that. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to move any of that forward. If somebody wants to report on that.
I don't believe there's been a meeting scheduled as of yet, Jim.
Okay.
If
And
there
we can
has, I
select-
didn't. So,
Yep, and I'll reach out to Tim and we'll get together and kind of put something together there. Because I think it's an important issue, and obviously we don't want to exclude anybody or create an undue hardship. So we'll put that together and bring that to the next meeting. Any items from the floor?
Jim, it's
Jim,
BJ.
Jim,
Well, go ahead, Steve.
I just wanted to make a comment about what's happened. I saw Paul Charoux already sent this around by an email to everybody. There are a lot of changes to Article 30 and how the regional and how the REMAX and the CMAC would be structured. We don't quite understand them yet. At least I don't quite understand them yet. But I think Paul sent it around and it's worth everybody taking a look at. A lot of people think that there's the potential for there being a fundamental shift away from regional autonomy. I don't know if that is the case. I'm actually pretty confused when reading these legal changes as to whether the people that wrote them haven't made their intent that clear, but it is worth noting. We're talking about in our region about getting together with 2 other regions and doing some really good things for the future. I'm not really sure what the state budget, if this were to pass and become law, means for regional EMS councils and REMAX as they stand today.
Yep. Again, I just pulled it up too, and it's not that I would ever be this quick, but it's almost 300 pages long. So it'll take you a little while to pour through it and pick out the portions that are specific to EMS. But as Steve said, sometimes stuff happens unexpectedly, and it's worth our due diligence to take a look at that and then come together and certainly make our collective opinions known as it relates to potential changes to the rules we all operate under. Anything else from the floor?
Jim, yeah, it's PJ. Just a comment for Tim. In our discussions with these other two, like Mountain Lake, these regions that we talked about consolidating with, one of the subjects that we brought up at the time was the possibility of going back to the state, looking for that carrot for us to do this, that there might be some monetary consideration in doing this. So, Tim, I don't know if you've had any discussions with Ryan Greenberg since, but it may not hurt, being as we're trying to move forward with this, to kind of put that out there on the limb, so that they can chew on that a little bit, especially with the budget coming up.
Yeah, it's a good point, PJ. I haven't spoken with Ryan about it lately, but I know you, Jim, and some other folks have been on several of the past conference calls where we expressed big time concern relative to any type of reduction in those program agency contract payments. And he's assured us every time I brought that up that there would be no reduction. But it may not be bad to go back and visit it, especially in light of these new budget announcements and stuff. So I'll follow up on that.
Yeah, I'm not as concerned about the reduction as I am getting a possible increase, maybe, or a little incentive to merge these regions.
Well, that would be super. I mean, I'd love to see something like that, but we'll get in touch with him and see what he says.
Yep, doesn't hurt to ask.
Nope.
If you need me to be on that call, I'd be glad to twist a little arm.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Anything else from the floor? All right. Well, with that, I'll be happy to accept the motion to adjourn. Our next meeting is actually the very end of February, so February 28th. More than likely, it'll be virtual as this one was. So other than that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Jim, I make a motion.
Motion by Stan Wagaki.
I'll second.
Second by Bill Rockensteiner. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll see you next month.
To feed the kids and take Riley to hockey and.